Welcome to the Bootheel Sports Network and I'll Take the Over podcast, a very special edition talking about the Bootheel Conference Tournament. It starts tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. where Chris Brown and Mark Manley will have that for you while Jeremy takes a nap. He'll be there later on. But anyway, here we go. Let's talk about the Bootheel Conference. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good. It's been a long week for me, man. I've been working overtime for the Bootheel Sports Network, and I get a night to rest, and we're gonna get right back after it in the morning. Portersville Lady Dogs versus Crowsville Lady Tigers
At 9 a.m. Hey, rise and shine with the Bootheel Sports Network. Ain't that right?
That's right. That's right.
Jeremy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing fantastic, buddy.
You've had an easy week, by the way.
It's been more of a disappointing week. I was really looking forward to some games. We missed out on the Battle of the Bootheel that still hasn't taken place, and then until the rain started coming down the way it did, I was looking forward to going to Fulton County. But then when they said that they were calling it off, I said, "Oh well, shucks. I guess I won't make that trip."
Hey, it's a good thing because I went to Scott City last night for Scott City and South Pim, and I had to drive through that monsoon, man. They had a bad wreck. We had a detour through Christenstown of Portersville. So I found out that all those people were okay, thank God. But anyway, and then I watched Scott City, and I am very impressed with Scott City guys. They got some guys 6'3", 6'4", put in the bucket. Watson, Walton, and Rulio is a little point guard, can run it. Scott City is going to move up, I think, in my rankings this week.
No doubt.
Yeah, you're talking about your 6'3s and 6'4s. Let me tell you guys, what I've been impressed with this week and what I've seen. I got 4 names I'm gonna throw at you. A freshman. These are freshman players that I watched this week. They're gonna be something to see. I'm gonna start off with one of my own, one of my Portersville Lady Bulldogs, Satori Saxton. She's a freshman. She's one of the first couple off the bench for Coach Fowler and that state-ranked Portersville team. Hey man, she brings a lot to the table defensively. She'll shoot the 3. Also, last night got to go to Cooter. Jaden Mathis, man, that boy's gonna be something else. I don't even want to call him a boy because he had 20-plus points last night. And then the game before that, Malden has a couple of freshmen that I was really impressed with. Braden Cunningham, Landon DePro, 9th graders, guys. And we're going to be talking about them for the next 2-3 years right here on the Bootheel Sports Network.
You're right about that. Especially I've seen DePro twice now, and I think he led all scorers for Malden in both games.
He don't look like you put him with the rest of his team, and I would have picked out 6 or 7 out of 12 of them players that would have been better than him just by appearance. Nope. He's solid down low, man. He's solid down low.
Yeah, you get the ball to him down low. Forget about it. That's 2 points.
He must be the leader in that weight room. That's got to be what it is. That boy is strong.
Yes.
Yep. But anyway, that's what I've been impressed with.
Yeah, that's great, man. And Jaden Mathis, Coach Mathis' son, he's a beast as a freshman, man. And like you said, but South Pim's loaded with sophomores, Hayti's loaded with sophomores. So we got a lot of great talent in this area, man. I'm telling you right now, for years to come, we're gonna have a state title come this way in the Bootheel Sports Network.
I wouldn't bet against it.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think?
Like I say, man, it's my dogs won the last 2. Beat Malden, finally got us a conference win in the boys varsity. Went down to Cooter last night, man. It was senior night down there as they honored the senior cheerleaders and basketball players, and it's a tough environment to play in. They bring a lot of folks to Cooter to root their Wildcats on, but hey, Portersville had quite a bit of folks down there as well, and we had one little corner that. Every time we done something great, it got loud in that on my left side, but man, it's been a great week for my dogs. But man, we got to jump right in on the big news. What's gonna happen tomorrow?
That's right. The big news starts tomorrow. But, Chris, as you said, Cooter is a great place. It reminds you of the old Hoosiers, the movie. You come in that gym, man, great atmosphere. It's all small pack. You're right there on every play you're on top of. I don't care where you sit in that gym. It's a great place to have basketball and a great place for us to cover, man. And we love some cooter, man. That's for sure, man. So let's talk about the Bootheel Conference. That's why we're here tonight. And we'll start off with the girls bracket, Chris. And we'll start off at 9 a.m. with your number one seed, the Portersville Bulldogs. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, the state ranked girls, they're solid.
I think I got a bracket here.
Coach Kelly Fowler does a great job and has been for some time. She's quite becoming the coaching legend there in Portageville, which, is kind of tough to do because, you got one of the biggest legends in Missouri. Coach Jim Bidwell will be playing on a court named after him tomorrow and pretty much all week next week. The 8 seed Croswell Tigers are going to come after the Lady Dogs. It's going to be tough sledding for them. These 1-8 games or these 1-16 games, you know how they typically go. I would, I hate to, even sound like it's a sure thing, but I mean, if Croswell was to beat Portersville in the morning at 9 a.m., it'd be the biggest shock in the state of Missouri in girls basketball. I can tell you that. But there's much respect between those two teams. I know Coach Fowler has a lot of respect for the Lady Tigers, and I'm just that's where we're going to kick off with the hometown Dogs and Lady Dogs, and we'll see. I bet there'll be quite a few Lady Dog fans in the stands come 9 a.m. in the morning, Mark.
Yeah, man, that's a 9 a.m. kickoff right here on the Boot Hill Sports Network. So it's going to be rise and shine with the Boot Hill Sports Network. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. The only thing I can see through this girls bracket is going to be Portersville and maybe Holcomb. Holcomb might pull an upset or two against Malden, but that is something I look forward to. And man, that's gonna be an exciting girls bracket. Jeremy, you got anything on the girls bracket?
Yeah, I want to say, and you're right, Chris, about if Crosville does pull the upset, they're so young.
Yeah.
They are led by Buttram, but they're so young, and they've had a tough season, but they're going to get better. When I look at the bracket, the one team, and I got to watch them early on in the season, that Zenith Hornsville team, they're sitting at a number 5 seed. They could be very interesting if they win that game against South Pam. South Pam's pretty good too. Uh, so that would be a matchup with Zenith and Portersville. They've already met up once, though, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking at the bracket, I know I've focused on that one game, but I did get to see Zenith. I did get to watch Malden. Malden give Portageville Lady Dogs all they wanted for probably a quarter and a half Wednesday night. Had that gym loud because we was in Malden. But honestly, guys, Portageville, it's theirs to win. They're going to be tough to beat. I'm sure Coach Fowler wouldn't agree, but they're going to be there, and they just know how to play. Whether it's Malden or Holcomb, I'm sure the championship game's going to be tough. But I'm sure right now Portersville's focused on Crothersville and nothing else. Guarantee you.
Yeah. And as you guys talk about seeing Thornsville Lions, Jamerson and Panky, them two girls can shoot the lights out. So it would be a surprise to me if we see seeing Thornsville maybe upsetting the Portersville Bulldogs. So don't put it past that, man. And seeing Thornsville can win it with Panky and Jamerson, if you leave them two girls open, once they step across half court, they are in range, man. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, we played Zenith at Zenith last week. Jamerson was on fire. The other girl, I don't remember what you said her name was. She must have had a cold night that night.
24.
Because all I really remember is Jamerson lighting it up from everywhere. Seemed like that game she didn't have much help, but like I say, I know Coach Fowler ain't looking past anybody right now. She's just focused on Crothersville.
Right.
One at a time.
Yeah. Jeremy, what you got? Second round. Let's talk about the JV boys. Jeremy?
Very interesting to me. Very because I know Haytai's fast and they can run, and um, but I see some possible upsets in this one. I like Caruthersville at the number 2 seed to advance, and then uh, which they've played both. They've beaten both Portageville and Zenith this year uh, handedly. However, Caruthersville, the hardest thing to say about Caruthersville is there's sometimes it's not all there. When they're clicking, forget about it. I've seen the best team in the state in a game or two, but then sometimes when they get a little bit off, like they did against Campbell, they had that game in hand and lost it. So Caruthersville's got to stay on their game if they're going to make it to that championship game, which you got to think is going to be Haytai. I think just like Porterville and the ladies, I think it's Haytai's to lose. But especially around here, and especially with us, Porterville, if they play like they did last night, or was it last night? Yeah, they play like that. There's no telling who's going to come out of that one. Either way, a battle between Porterville and Haytai, and then Caruthersville in the mix. I think that's the way it goes for junior varsity.
Well, Chris, what you got, buddy?
Well, here's something to think about, guys, especially for the Bulldogs, Portageville. 3 of our top 6 varsity players are sophomores. You got Jack Bell, you got Evan Windsor, and you got Mason Babb. And, Coach TJ Smith's got a decision to make. I wished I knew what it was.
Right. That's
because,
right.
the JV team for Portageville that you're seeing 2 quarters of Jack Bell. You're seeing 2 quarters of the 3-point sharpshooter, Evan Windsor. And I said 3 quarters. I meant 2 quarters because, players only play 6 quarters a night. So it's going to be interesting for me come 7 o'clock tomorrow night to see actually who's going to be on the floor for Portageville JV. Is he going to, pull Jack Bell and Evan Windsor and Mason Babb play on full-time JV, or, what the decision is going to be? You got to think about that. And, But with all that said, it is, Haytai and Caruthersville both. I've seen both of those JV teams. Man, they're both tough and solid. But it's going to be interesting to see, and it ain't just Portageville. What other teams have that dilemma? Because there's some youth. Zenith has that. And because you can only play one way in a conference tournament, and it's always been an interesting decision that's made by the coaching staff. So hey, we're going to find out how that's going to go with the first game at 4:30, or I'm sorry, 2 o'clock, because all these teams have some youth that actually play up. So it'd be interesting to see. Sure will.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a little bit of insight on the Haytai JV roster as it was sent to me, so I already know who's playing what. But like you said, when you move players up, you make a difference. I'll never forget when Portersville moved up Garmin and Holloman and beat us in the conference title and then beat us in the district title. So that right there, when you move the sophomores and the freshmen up to varsity ball to win your conference tournament and then go and win your district tournament, that's what it's all about, guys. And I think we all know that all these teams have capability of moving players up. It's just a matter of who does what, and puts them in that situation, man. And right now, I'm going to say that Haytai has the best option with all their players, and I expect Haytai to come out of that JV boys bracket.
It wouldn't surprise me again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the varsity, guys. We had a big discussion on who was going to be number 1 and why they were going to be number 1. But Campbell comes out as number 1, guys. For whatever reason, we weren't there. We don't know what was talked about, but it is what it is. Campbell's number 1. Roseville's number 2. And Haytai's number 3. And number 4 is South Pim, guys. And number 5 is St. Tornesville. So any of those 5 can win this tournament. That is plain and simple. I don't care what anybody says. We've all watched them this year. We all agree that they're great teams, man. Each and every one of them can go on a run when they need to. So, with all that being said, let's have some discussion on this varsity bracket. Chris?
Um, you know, it's first of all, let's talk about the bye. That extra game off, does it help you? Does it hurt you? You're missing some playing time. I'm sure Coach Fowler, he's a wonderful coach there at Campbell, and so he's going to have them boys ready to play. But it'll be interesting to see because they're off till the 4th, I guess, which that's Tuesday, 5:15, and they're going to play either South Pim or Zenith. And coming in cold, so to speak, for Campbell, having to play one of these tough games. It don't
That's
matter
right.
what. It's going to be a tough game. So that bye, is going to be interesting. I'm sure a lot of the Campbell fans will say, well, we ain't worried about, we might need the rest. But for me personally, it's going to be interesting to see how Campbell comes out against one of these teams who is going to play tomorrow. And that's going to be a tough one. Crothersville, Malden, hey, Malden, they haven't won a game, but like I say, they're young. They kind of remind me of the Crothersville Lady Tigers. They're young. A couple of years, we're going to be talking about them in a different sense. But I see Crothersville having no problem in that one. Haytop Portageville, if things remain like they do, I don't see Haytop having a problem. Although I hope they do, because I'm going to be rooting for the Dogs no matter what. But you're going to have you're going to have two semifinal games that are going to be must-see TV, both of them. And that ain't even counting the championship game.
Which
But,
we will have on the Bootheel Sports Network.
And it could be Zenith Crothersville. It could be Zenith Hayti, South Pim Crothersville. There's so many possibilities who it could be in the championship game. But one thing I'm glad of is the Bootheel Sports Network. We're going to be right there courtside.
That's right.
At 7:45 on Thursday to watch this game because it's going to be something else.
Jeremy, you were there for the 3 Mile rivalry, so Kevin Pritchard wants to know a little bit about that.
Okay, I'm going to get right to that, Mr. Pritchard. Let me talk real quick about the bracket, and I'll get to that. I have to agree with the top 5. I do think, and I'm not knocking Portageville because I think Portageville they showed me a lot last night.
Yes, absolutely.
But so that might come down to a brawl, but a big game. But when I look at the top 5 teams, I do think Crothersville will handle Malden the same way they did the first time, which Malden was actually in that game at halftime, and then Crothersville pulled away after a timeout. We talked about that. So that would lead to a Crothersville Hayti matchup potentially. But here, what I'm saying is, with this, I'm just looking at the bracket. Every single game to me is up for grabs. I know who obviously we think the higher seeds are going to move on. I couldn't tell you between South Pam and Zenith. That one, because I've been to 4 South Pam games. I've been to 2 Zenith games. Both those teams can bring a lot to the court. And
Zenith almost beat South Pam at home.
That's right. It's any given night. So, I give all the credit in the world to the Campbell Camels, and congratulations on the number 1 seed. It could have gone to one of 3 teams, but Campbell got it, and that's fine with me. But I've seen them at their weak side too. I've seen Crothersville had them beat by 12 points with just under 3 minutes to go. So, but hats off to them. They came back and won that game in overtime and did it in fashion. So, really, I don't know. I've never been as excited as I am now about a conference tournament than I am this year. Probably just we're more involved because we've all been more involved with the teams. We've seen them a lot more than just our home teams. But to me, it's a free for all. And once this first round of the bracket's done, we're talking about, like you said, not just must see TV, but these are going to be games that we'll be watching back for the next year. So, and then probably into next year. And go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, one last thought I was going to say about Crothersville. You talked about the sophomores moving up and everything. Demarion Rogers is now starting for varsity So he's been playing the first 2 quarters for Caruthersville, and that's going to be an issue there. If I'm going to say if Caruthersville goes up big on Malden in the JV game, Rogers needs to play varsity, and because he's become not just a starter, but usually he's in the top 3 either with Alexander, Sammy Bryant, or Quan McVeigh. Rogers is usually mixed in there too. So that's just another one of those sophomores we're going to see featured in the varsity bracket.
Yeah, here's the thing. Coach Lamont Bell from Crowsville just chimed in. In 25 years of coaching, he has never been in a situation where either of the top 5 could win it, guys. So right there it says alone. And then we got Xander, who plays for Delta C7. Such a great conference and district you guys are in. And then old boy who took a night off. He's out there in Indy partying. Zenith can really have a great dark horse run this tournament. Don't doubt the Lions. There's our own Charlie Duckworth. Charlie's at the Royal Rumble. Ain't he, Charlie?
Living it up in Indianapolis, man. Having a big time. I'll get back to that comment about the 3 mile rivalry. My first question is, Mark, is that something you came up with, or is that a real term?
That is something I came up with. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, it's going to stick, okay? And this is probably where that question comes from because when you said it, I was in the middle of writing up a post, and when I saw it on the post, the link to the game, I started saying it. I wrote it in my article about the game, and I think it's going to stick. And then on the way there, Charlie's riding with me, and I said it makes sense because if you're driving down 55, Steele is exit 7 and Cooter's exit 4. I said, so it's 3 miles apart. So maybe somebody came up that. Maybe I said maybe Mark did, but then Charlie took it far enough to go and Google mapped it, and it is from the where Steele is pinpointed and where Cooter is pinpointed on Google Maps, literally 3.0 miles. So I'm telling you right now, Mark, you came up with something because I know for me and obviously fans that are tuning in like Kevin, this is the 3 mile rivalry from now on. This is going to go down in history, and I got to just applaud you, Mark. Way to go, buddy! Because
thank you, man. Look, so I'm all about rivalries. As you know, I built the Bootheel Sports Network trophy, the Battle of the Bootheel trophy. So I'm all about like rivalries need names. You know what I'm saying? So I did exactly that, Jeremy. I Googled. It was 3.3. I was like, well, 3.3 rivalry. I put it in. I was like, nah, let's just call it the 3 mile rivalry. I was like, that's going to stick, man. I said, that is great stuff. Because I would always ask, I've done this game every year on our Boot Hill Sports Network. I was like, is there a name for this rivalry? Because, South Pam and Cooter are just like Crowsville and Hayti. Yeah. They are battle. You know what I'm saying? They just don't care for each other, but if they're not playing for each other, they love each other. You know what I'm saying? It's all about let's just put it together. I was like, we got to call this something, so that's how I come up with it.
Well, and I say props to you. And see, here's the thing: I was trying to do my best to come up with something because I was thinking about the boot heel. We already had the Battle of the Boot Heel. Then I thought about a boot, and I thought about it being at the bottom of the boot, so that it'd be kind of like the tip of the boot. And I thought, wait a minute, steel toe, like steel toe boots, and I was getting somewhere with it.
Oh, that'd been a good one.
I was getting there with it. That was like a steel toe rivalry, something like that. But that only puts steel in there. Got to have Cooter. But when you do 3 mile, that covers them both. So I say, hats off, buddy. It's a good one. I like it, and I'll be saying it for the rest of my life.
Right on. That's what we're gonna call it. Chris, what you got, buddy?
That's where that came from.
I got a couple more things on this bracket right here. This boys varsity bracket. That 4-5 matchup at 3:15. It ain't in particularly here. That's a championship game matchup. I mean, it could be a championship game matchup in the first round. Think about that. Also, think about this. You got a lot of people, and I'm guilty of, there's a lot of tournaments I've been to. I'm just going to say, well, I'll be there on championship night. Hey, these semifinal games are going to be must-see TV, and you can't say that about many, you can't say that about many tournaments. Right. We've all been a lot of tournaments in our life, and tournaments are just, most people wait till the end of them. Hey, championship night, you better not miss that semifinal night. That's all I'm saying, because it's going to be some loaded talent on them 4 spots on the 4th at 5:15 and 7:45, and I can't wait for that. And then the championship game is just going to be that'll be the true main event right there. So I'm excited about this bracket right here. There ain't no doubt about it.
So as we talked about, any team out of this right here, this conference, can go on and win district and be Final Four in the state. I mean, just plain and simple. Campbell and Hayti can come out of that district. South PM too, and can make a run to Final Four. So I'm going to say, because Charleston, you better watch Charleston too in the other district. And I don't think, as we put Puxico has got to beat Charleston, guys. I don't know if that can be done. As I sit here and watch Puxico and Woodland, it's 19-17 right now in that conference title. But as we know, Stoddard County is not got the competition that Charleston does. Charleston's going to wake some folks up when it's come playoff time, guys. So I will go on and put this on a limb, and I'm going to say that a team out of Southeast Missouri will make a run in the Final Four.
All right, we got it here. We got it recorded and live, and everyone out there heard it. So I'm not saying I disagree with you, not one bit, because I can see, like I can see teams. I'm staring at the bracket right now. I could see 4 or 5 of those teams making that kind of run, because I've seen every one of those teams get on a run where they could beat anybody at any given time.
Yep, and there's 3 words that I want to tell you guys that I've heard that best suits this bracket right here, and here's what it is: iron sharpens iron.
There you go.
Because there's a lot of iron in this bracket right here.
Yeah,
and these coaches are loving the fact that the competition is so stiff that it's only going to help in the long run. I mean, Coach Bell's on here. I'm sure he would agree with me 1,000%. He's glad this tournament's loaded because iron's going to sharpen iron, and that's just how it is. And Bootheel Conference is going to be represented in the Final Four somewhere.
Yeah, I ain't got no doubt about that one, man. And we are blessed, guys. That's all I got to say. Man. We are blessed with some of the best basketball in Missouri. I've looked at. Let's just talk about football for a second. I looked about. Hayti always had Valley as a nemesis in football, right? And then Valley always would win those state titles. But then I realized that once they got past Hayti, there was no competition. Not knocking on the north, but all of the competition is down here in the Bootheel, and I honestly believe that, guys. Because once Hayti got past the Valley hump in football, they won a state title, guys. Finally. And they put whippings on people. Whippings, guys. They won the state title 44-0 with 5 turnovers. That does not happen. Same thing in basketball, guys. You get past this Bootheel, you got it licked. And that's just my opinion. People out here listening to us might feel different, but I really don't. It is what it is, guys. Chris, tell me how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, iron sharpens iron, man. It's most fitting on this thing here, and also the varsity teams, in that bracket. Most of those coaches know who their varsity starters are, but there's going to be a few decisions have to be made there as well. What coaches, and maybe Coach Bell can have a little bit of insight on this decision, but do you, as a coach, if you have a chance to win one of the brackets, JV or varsity, do you load your team up for that, or do you just go for the varsity? I mean, it's a dilemma that some coaches have to have. It's good if you don't have to have it, but I know that Coach Smith is faced with it because you got our sophomores, and you may have to, like I say, it's just interesting to me on coaching decisions like that, because how important is it to take the JV Bootheel Conference title home as opposed to try to take the varsity? There's so much going on. There's so much to unpack in this Bootheel Conference tournament. And man, 9 o'clock can't get here fast enough. I know we got 4 girls games, but can't get here fast enough for me, guys.
Here's what I think, Chris, and just my opinion. Conference tournament does not mean jack. I mean, it does, but it don't. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line is district. You got to win your district and move on. So if I got young players like Tamron Turner for Hayti, any of those guys, Keanthony Taylor, AJ Jones, all those guys that can move up to make our team better. Let me tell you what happened to me. My senior year, we go against Portersville. Garmin and Holloman moved up as sophomores. We already beat them twice in the regular season. So they moved up in the conference tournament to play varsity basketball. They beat us in the finals of the conference tournament, the championship game. We were 19-9, by the way, my senior year. So they beat us in the conference tournament, and then they moved up for the district and beat us in the district for the championship, guys. So that's all that matters. You move important players up in important times, and I think every coach around here is smart. We got some great coaches in the Bootheel Conference, man. There is nobody, I don't care, put any conference in the state of Missouri against our coaches, and we got the best coaches. That's just the way I feel. Jeremy?
I mean, I couldn't agree more because I've talked about it every single place I go. I feel like I'm treated as one of their own. When I get to talk to the coaches, every one of them, and then I get to watch them, and I get to compare them. Of course, I get to see Coach Bell on a game-to-game basis, but then I get to see all these other coaches that we talked about, and you get to know them, and they're great. They're great guys. They're great people, and I'm going to go back to I think because of the coaches that we have. That the conference tournament is not as important as districts, but whoever wins this conference tournament is going to stand alone for a while, all the way up to districts, because everyone's going to know these 7 teams are going to be looking up, or all 6 teams that lose are going to be looking up to this number 1 team that wins this conference, and everybody in the different conferences when it comes to districts, they're going to be aware of whoever this conference tournament winner is. I'm not saying that means that the conference tournament winner is going to be the one that goes to the Final Four, which I do think one of them will. However, I'm saying that putting a W in the Bootheel Conference tournament and grabbing that trophy, that's going to put a big target on their backs, because I'm with Chris on this iron versus iron thing. I completely agree. I want to relate it a little bit to when I was covering the Hayti Indians, and they were on their run with the Coach David Gilmore, the late great Coach David Gilmore, and they were beating everybody. It seemed like 60 points every week, just because of the level of competition that Hayti was bringing in those years. And I remember saying it on the air. I was working for the radio station at the time. Basically, because of their opponents, all the teams around here, their opponents knew that Hayti was going to come in there and beat them. Therefore, each game, Hayti was seeing the best version of those teams, because that was their Super Bowl. They knew they weren't going to make the playoffs. They knew that the biggest game they had that on their schedule was the Hayti Indians that year. So they got the best of those teams, And then it's something about the better opponent that you play, the better you play. It's the same way with me in golf. If I play with someone who shanks the ball every time off the tee, I'm going to play bad. If I play with someone who plays like Tiger Woods, I might actually break 50. I mean, on a 9-hole course. So I agree 100%. But I'm going to say whoever wins the Bootheel Conference tournament are going to have all eyes on them here on out after this tournament's completed. And I have to give a quick shout out to Amber Powers. I like that. She's on the same page as me. She's from South Penn, big South Penn fan. Her boy's a sophomore, I believe, on South Penn. She has the boot tip off, which I like it, Amber, but I still got to go with the 3-mile rivalry. That's money right there.
Amber's boy shot some threes the other night. Yeah, he went off, didn't he, Jeremy?
That was in my game. Maybe it was in my. He hit 7 in my game.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
When he gets hot, and we said it the other night when South Penn played Oh, I don't remember who we played. I'm sorry. I've done too many games. Me and Charlie did the game. It was Cooter. They played against Cooter. I said it on there. I said, when Powers heats up, forget about it. He's a freshman,
Yeah.
actually. Thank you, Amber. Freshman. So we're going to be seeing those threes, more and more of them, over the next 3.5 years.
He dressed out last night too for the varsity team. He didn't get no playing minutes. But I'm gonna tell you right now, since we're talking about that and her son and all that, Scott City really impressed me last night, guys. They can go. They got the size, and they can shoot the basketball. Man, I was very impressed with them as they put a whooping on South Bend, guys. It's just very impressive. They got Walton, Watson, Rulio on the point guard, can shoot the basketball. And those guys, Lowry, power forward, they're going to make some noise. So look out for Scott City as a run, too, right here on the Bootheel Sports Network.
Hey, do I get to pat myself on the back because of the last two top tens? I've had Scott City higher than everybody else. I think I had them 4 last week because they're one of the
Yeah, they're probably going to move up to like 2 or 3 in mine.
That was a good chance. That was pretty impressive. I was watching both of you guys last night. I had 2 different TVs going, enjoying both the broadcasts, and I saw a lot of talent. That's all I can say. I was messaging Mark and I was messaging Chris the whole time. I wasn't trying to interrupt you guys, but I was just letting you know, wow, because there were some good games last night.
Yeah. Chris's first experience at Cooter. How's that gym, Cooter? I love it, man.
Well, I guess the last time I'd been to Cooter was at American Hostile Championship Wrestling event, and that was one that started about
That was
45
great, wasn't
minutes
it?
late because
Yeah.
because everybody wasn't in the door yet. But man, Coach Mathis, Clay Snyder, kudos to them. They helped get me set up.
Jared Schubert.
Jared Schubert as well. Yeah, he done a great job announcing the senior night and everything. Hey, it's compact. I have been to a few games down there when I, covering Hayti and such. But I was just impressed, with the hometown fans there, how they show up. And Cooter, their JV squad, handled Portersville's JV pretty easily. A lot of talent on that team, and there's a lot of freshmen on that team. And their future looks bright there. Coach Mathis has got to know that. And I just enjoyed it. It was a good night, and I'm glad that my dogs in varsity, man, they turned the defense up a notch. I was so impressed with all of them. Hickenbottom with his
The
defense.
threes. How many threes did y'all hit?
There was a bunch.
Yeah. Hey, I think Portersville just needs to play at the Cooter gymnasium, man.
Houston Parton had an awesome night. We had 3 players in double figures. Of course, Zay Bogan was being Zay Bogan. He's always going to bring it. And
I love the Bogans.
And when those other players have good nights, it takes a lot off of Zay because, let's face it, guys, going into a game for Portersville, I'm sure the number 1 name on the opposing coach's board, stop Zay Bogan, stop number 2.
Yeah,
when other players are playing well, it helps because Zay's going to get his. I don't think I've seen him shut down yet. He's just too athletic. He's going to find a way. But it was a great experience. I love Cooter. There's a koozie. I've seen those koozies. I love Cooter. And
I heart Cooter.
I heart Cooter. And so
T-shirts and everything, man.
it was a split. And it was a split. Cooter loved the JV. We had bought the varsity. So awesome experience at Cooter.
Well, if you ever listen to KTMO in the mornings, Monty Lyons, great guy.
Monty in the morning.
If you listen to him every single morning when he does birthdays, he always mentions that big old metropolis, Cooter, Missouri. We all love it. And I love Monty Lyons. Like I said, I've worked with him.
I do too. Monty is a great guy.
Yes, he is.
Yes. All right, guys. So, Bootheel Sports Network and Bootheel Conference tournament in the morning will start off at 9 a.m. Woo! Rise and shine with the Bootheel Sports Network. Chris, it'd be me and you in the morning. So what we got going on?
Hey, we're going to see what them lady dogs, Coach Kelly Fowler, going to have them ready. state ranked. They've only lost 3 ball games this year. 2 of those has been to powerhouse Donovan. The other one was way earlier in the year. I can't remember who was that beat them, but they're on quite a run. They're on quite a roll. Them girls has played together for a long time. Janiyah Smith, something to see, must see TV. Taryn Irby is must see TV. Dee Dee Arterbridge, Satori Saxton, the freshman, Maggie Priggle, the center down low. They're just enjoyable to cover. Love watching them play. And hey, come on out in the morning at 9 and let's see some dogs and tigers, lady dogs and lady tigers go at
So,
it.
Chris, let me ask you this: how much is a 9 a.m. tip-off going to affect them?
I don't think it'll affect them any at all. I really don't. I think that, if I could see maybe.
So they're going to eat their Fruit Loops and come out strong, or
whatever protein bars, whatever. Coach
Wheaties,
yeah,
the Wheaties. I hope it's not the Wheaties with Bruce Jenner on the box.
I don't know.
That's a whole nother show right there. Come on.
That Wheaties. That's Wheaties, ain't it, Jeremy?
Yeah, apparently. Oh, Caitlin.
Once that ball's tipped up in the air, breakfast ain't gonna matter. All they're gonna worry about is full court pressing.
All they're gonna worry about eating then, ain't they?
And they're gonna be eating all right. And but
Well,
we'll just see how it goes, man. Anything can happen.
That list that came out this week of the top scorers in the area, I know that there was at least 4 or maybe if not 5 Porterville girls on that list.
Yeah, they're pretty well balanced.
They're stout, man. They are so stout.
Yeah, Alton is the one. Thank you, Sherman. Lost to Alton by 4. Yeah.
Sherman's in our control room as always. Sherman Manley, always in our control room, keeps us in check. Thank you, Sherman.
Wonderful insight from Sherman. Hey,
yeah, Sherman. Hey, Sherman is very knowledgeable. He's our Al Jackson. Let's just put it that way. My man is on. He is on the point. Sherman has got every knowledgeable little fact.
I'm going to show this just for Sherman. I'm so glad because I just thought about this. This is my portfolio here. The very first Bootheel Sports Network game I did was with Sherman. He was my stat guy. These are the tickets from it. I got the very first tickets from the very first game that we did on the Bootheel Sports Network. Sherman was with me. I still got them saved here. Going to get them framed because that's a night I'll never forget. And Sherman was great. He had every single – I mean, he had
right.
We're really good about doing points, especially when we do it by ourselves. But he had points, steals, rebounds, fouls. He had it all.
Yeah, Sherman's a master, man. That man is a stat master. He's Al Jackson Jr. Yeah, that's what he is, man. I love Sherman. He's only my nephew, and I love him for that, but I love him for what he does for us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Me and Sherm spent quite a bit of time in the booth at Hayti.
That's
right.
I
was calling football games, man.
He was your spotter.
Guy. Man, wonderful job. It made my job so easy. I mean,
yeah.
And
he's a guru, man. He's a guru.
Man. Yeah, he is. He's so knowledgeable, and I can't thank him enough for everything he's done.
The only problem is he's a Braves fan and a Dolphins fan. What? I don't understand what's going on there.
Well, you got to understand, growing up, man, that's who was on TV, the teams that won, man. You know what I'm saying?
The Cubs, one of the teams.
Yeah, I'm glad. And to be honest, as his uncle, I'm glad he chose the Braves instead of the Cubs.
Well, that's true.
So he lived on Jefferson there, where antenna did not reach high.
So where I live now, he lives about 3 houses down from where I live.
Yes, yeah, but neither here nor there. Sherman is a great guy, behind the scenes guy for the sport. Bootheel Sports Network does not get enough credit, so let's give it to him here tonight, man. That is our statistician, our go-to guy. Sherman, we love you, man. You might not feel appreciated, but we do love you, man.
Yep.
Always there to pick up where we slip up.
That's right, man. I tell you what, he's always texting us when we're on live, too. He's like, hey, guys, this right here is going on. He's right there. He's Johnny on the spot, man. I love my nephew, man, just because he's not my nephew, but he loves this sports network just as much as we do, man.
Yep.
All right, guys, got some closing thoughts. What we got, Jeremy? Closing thoughts.
I'll reiterate how excited I am about the Boot Heel Conference tournament, and I don't think I'm the only one. I don't think that we are. I think there's going to be a lot of people in attendance. I don't know about the 9 o'clock game. That's pretty early for a Saturday, but I
Jeremy's cooking breakfast. Did you say you're cooking breakfast for everybody that shows up at 9 o'clock?
I can't hear you. Someone's calling me. I didn't
Whatever.
really get what that was.
Hey, Jeremy,
Hey, you're
I
the one
like
that told me I
mustard
wasn't
on my
here yet.
sausage biscuits. Okay?
Yeah.
Catherine, he likes mustard.
I like mustard, so she can't go wrong.
That's
I'll
right.
just bring mustard. How about that? You guys go from there.
Well, you know.
Me and my wife's about to have Taco Tuesday on a Friday.
Nothing
We're
wrong
having
with
a
that.
nice little appetizer.
We're having
dinner. It was
chubbies.
Catherine's idea.
All right, guys, closing thoughts for real.
I want to thank
Well-
everyone who's tuned in and commented and everything. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Love to hear from everyone. Amber and Ashton and Kevin and Sherman and Bridget, everyone. So and Coach, of course, Coach Bell. Gonna be a
Coach
good
Bell
tournament. I
appreciates.
recommend, everybody that's out there listening right now, if you can't make the games, tune in. We got you covered, and we're going to be excited. And my last thought, and I'll leave it at that. Let you guys talk. Chris, that was the loudest and proudest I've ever heard you call a game last night, man. You had me going. I was loving it.
Work in progress, Jeremy.
He finally got his audio right, man. But I will say this, man. Chris did a great job. I listened to him on the way home last night, man.
Yes.
And you did a great job, Chris, man. I appreciate you.
And Jeremy always does a wonderful job.
As my wife says, Jeremy, you always do a great job.
Yeah.
Me, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, if my game's over and I leave, it's always listening to you two guys, man. I could not hired better people, man.
That's right.
Because you guys are all about the boot heel just like I am. Chris loves Hayti, don't get him wrong, but when he moves to a town, he's going to give them all the support that he would give Hayti. So that's why he loves Portersville now. Jeremy's a Crowsville guy, so we have put all this together and formed the Boot Heel Sports Network, guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm very proud of where we are and where we're headed, man. And I thank each and every one of you, all our listeners who have become a part of this. It has become something very special, guys. We're taking over this Boot Heel Sports Network in the Boot Heel area, and I love you guys, man. That's all I can say.
Yep. My final closing thoughts on it is, how we're lucky, but how lucky are the fans?
Yes,
fans,
absolutely.
All these fans.
We didn't get it. We didn't
all
get
these
it.
Fans are lucky. I mean, because
Yeah.
and it's going to be so much about school pride for so many teams that have chances and really have legitimate shots. Most tournaments you go into, you got a JV tournament where one team or two teams may have a chance. You go to a varsity tournament, one team or two teams have a chance. It's not like that now, so I'm excited about it. Can't wait.
And leave, baby.
And the fans, it's all for y'all. And if you can't make the games, I'd advise you to come to Jim Bidwell Court there in Portersville High School. But if you can't, we're going to have you covered right here on the Boot Heel Sports Network.
That's right. We got you. Jeremy?
Same thing, likewise. And I hate to say this, Ashton. I've known Ashton for a while now. I appreciate this.
She's my dog, baby. She's all about some Hayti, baby. Woo!
I know. I
She's
appreciate
running
it,
for
though.
school board with me.
I know
Look,
it, but
I love Ashton too.
don't
We
go
are
do
running
it.
for school board. Ashton's going to run for school board, and we're going to win it.
Ashton's a great girl. I'm a big fan of Ashton's, but she didn't have to
Hayti
go-
cheerleader.
and she had to
And
ruin
can
it by
give you a
those
good.
two.
Hey, Jeremy, she can
do.
not only cheer for you, but she can give you a good haircut.
Well, I'll have to find out one day, but she didn't have to put Duke on there and ruin our message board.
Oh man, love some Duke, man. That's why I love her right
I think
there.
she spelled North
You
Carolina
know why I
wrong.
love her? Cause she can cut good hair and She cheers for Duke, baby, and Hayti. So me and her got three things in common. Plus, we're both running for Hayti School District. So vote
Right.
for us on the school board. So free advertisement, Ashton.
There you go, Ashton. If I could, I would vote for you.
Look at her. I think she should shave you bald just because you're from Crowsville.
Nah.
I think, matter of fact, when if let's just say this, if Hayti and Crowsville meets in the second round, you shave your head bald. Wait a minute, let's go. You shave your head bald if Crowsville loses. I'll shave my head bald if Hayti loses.
Okay, this isn't a Vince McMahon Donald Trump thing going on here, so no.
Yes, it is. Hey, and let's do it, Jeremy. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I
I mean, look. Neither one of us got much hair to lose. Yeah, look.
Oh, yeah, it won't be
Neither one
nothing.
of us got much hair to lose.
It won't be
Well,
nothing.
I've got a family to think of. I don't want to lose the family for because I don't know what I
Hey.
look like bald.
Hey, Catherine, hair grows back, baby. Hair grows back.
That's not always the case. I know people who've shaved their head. And
Why doesn't it? You're young.
I'll-
Come on.
Hey, I'll broadcast it. I'll broadcast it right
He
here
got-
on the Bootheel
look
Sports Network.
at classic
I will.
Chris. He will do play-by-play. He
Play-by-play,
zips it up in
baby.
the center. He zips it up in the right. He zips it up in the left.
Skip off to the end, baby. From quarter 1 to 4. I'm gonna
Come
I'm gonna
on,
talk.
Jeremy. I don't think you got the guts because you know that Crowsville can't beat Hayti. That's what it is.
Ah, here we go.
Ashton, here we go. Ashton, he cannot put his hair at stake. A hair at stake, Chris. This is the ultimate Memphis Championship Wrestling match right here. Put your hair at stake. Crowsville can't beat Hayti, Jeremy. Your hair versus my hair. Right here. The loser gets shaved on the Boot Hill Sports Network.
I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't do it. I'm not.
He
and
can't do
this is
it.
not-
You hear
this is
that?
not-
He has no faith in you, Lamont Bell.
That is
Lamont
not
Bell
true.
is one of our listeners. He has no
not
faith in you and your Crowsville Tigers. Coach Webb, I got all the faith in you, baby. Woo! Go Hayti.
Mark, I don't want to have
Oh,
to see
man.
you bald either. Okay, I don't want to be around you with that big old shiny head, and I don't think anyone else in Hayti does either. So, Ashton, I appreciate the offer, and
Hey,
I like-
Ashton can shave his bald. That is right, Sharon.
I'm gonna get a
So,
restraining order tonight
look,
if that's
so
the
we
case.
already got the barber. We got the steaks. Don't be, hey, come on.
That's not fair. A barber from Hayti. No,
Right?
that's not how it's
The
gonna work.
play-by-play guy.
It don't matter. It don't matter. We got the play-by-play by Classy. Well, hey, are you scared?
I have full 100% confidence in my Tigers. Okay.
Then put your hair at stay. You only got 2 inches.
It's probably less than that. I just got a haircut. But I'll tell you what, I like Catherine's idea. Facial hair. I got more facial hair probably right now than I do.
Uh,
So
all
I'll
right.
your
So I
beard.
put my facial hair against your facial hair.
There we go. And Ashton, I don't know if you can shave or not because that's sketchy.
Ashley is a beautician. She can make you beautiful, Jeremy. I know you've never been beautiful before, but she can do it.
We'll let the fans decide on that. We'll take a poll.
All right. So here we go. So, what is the final offer? Jeremy shaves his beard, and I shave my beard. Is that right?
I think that's a pretty fair.
No, man. I
in
got
the middle.
58 years against your 28.
Here's something you guys
take
ain't
it.
thinking about, though. Who's to say Crowsville and Hayti's even going to meet up?
There you go. Thank you.
Hey, and then it
A
won't
lot of
matter.
talent
Ho.
in this tournament, I'm telling you.
Then it won't matter, Classy. Then it won't matter. But let's just say if they do meet up,
Okay. See, there's a very
you
important.
lose your lead town match. We can do a loser lead town match.
Read that comment.
I don't want either one of y'all going anywhere.
All right.
Not till the
So
tournament's
here we
over.
go.
Not till the season's over.
If Hayti beats Crowsville, Jeremy gets his chin shaved. If Crowsville beats Hayti, I get my head shaved.
I will make that bet.
All right.
And I
So
and
there
I
we
hate
go.
I hate being clean shaven. That I'll go on the record saying that. That's probably worse than shaving my head. So there you go.
So,
You get something out of it. But I'm not worried
alright.
about it though, because Coach Bell, I got you. We know what's going to happen. We know.
If it happens, I mean, you guys got a tough matchup there.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that Classy jumped in and said that
Malden,
because
Malden might win their first game of the year. Conference tournament.
Malden might win the whole tournament.
Hey,
Hey, they
if
might.
if I'm calling that game and Malden beats Scottsville, my head's gonna blow off. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now.
Hey, we're gonna run out and shade that man right there.
I'm a Malden Greenway myself because my head will blow plumb off.
We're gonna run out and shave him right then, ain't we, Chris?
Man.
So do you want to? I'll go hair for hair on the first round games.
Negative.
Oh
Yeah, because ain't neither one of them should lose. So there you go.
Should exactly. You never know. You never know.
That's right.
That's why we did this show tonight.
All right, Ashton said she will do the honors of shaving either your head or my head.
See, and Ashton, I thought I've met you in the past. I thought the world of you, so I'll be honored to see you shave Marcus' head, beard, whatever.
All right, so what's the bet right now? Let's just make it clear.
It's facial hair.
Facial hair. That's not a real shave, Jeremy. How about facial and head?
Man,
See, this goes to show you, Lamont Bell, how much faith he has in his Carruthville Tigers. Chris says we got to wrap it up, so we got to wrap it up.
We done made laps and laps around this head thing. I think beard versus beard is a good.
Chris got the stipulations. He wrote them down. That's where we're at. So we're gonna call it tonight.
Whoa, Ashton! Great idea, Ashton. My beard versus your hair.
Wait a minute. Where did she say that at?
Just
no, Sherman said double or nothing, so I'm gonna go with Sherman.
Look, I'm an admin too. I'll put it right there. Jeremy's beard, your head.
Why is that?
I'm back.
Because I got more. Because I got more beard on your head.
I don't even know what that means.
Carruthville's not going to beat Hayti, so I don't care what it is. I'll shave my ass. All right, we'll just do that.
Probably
right?
ain't going to do that, Mark.
We need to know
play-by-play call of that.
If we're doing it.
All right, so we'll go. I think Ashton's game for that too as well. All right, so but here, seriously, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we're gonna tip off with the Bootheel Conference Tournament. Chris Brown gonna have the play-by-play with Carruthville and the Porterville Lady Dogs, and we're gonna cruise your way all the way through probably 10 p.m. tomorrow night. We shall see. But anyway, Chris, sign us off, brother.
Hey, tune in tomorrow, Bootheel Sports Network, baby. Be there in person or on the Bootheel Sports Network.
Amen, man. Jeremy?
Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll get there anytime you want. I was planning on being there in the morning, but if you don't want me to, I'll sleep in a little bit.
No, we'll talk about that off air. Because you trying to sleep in.
I got a 3-year-old.
All right, love you guys out there in the Bootheel Sports Network. Yes. Appreciate everyone who supports us. We will be there tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. at Porterville High School for the Bootheel Conference Tournament. Join us live.